Hey there, hi there, ho there. It's Gord, your hurtin' hippie. And yes, finally a hippie cooks. I know a lot of you have been asking for it. And any of you new subscribers, check out the playlist because I've done this for quite a while. I enjoy cooking. I have a fairly okay kitchen. So today we're doing our sweet onions. Our sweet fried onions, or hippie sweet fried onions. We'll figure it out as we go along. I remember Mr. Alvin Crump requesting the recipe, and I wrote it in a comment, and he loved them. So I do this very often, but I do it to complement a meal. So as we get along with it, I'll talk more about different uses for it, but first things first, I always start by putting a stick of butter, not a whole stick, so I guess that would work out to a quarter cup of butter, but I use these sticks of butter. I put about a half that stick into a frying pan, and I add a little bit of olive oil. So I'll do that, and then while I'm heating that up to a medium high, I'll start cutting the vegetables. So that's what you're about to see, and pitter patter. Get at her, Gord. Slow that down just a little bit while I tell you that I usually cut these in nice, long, and fairly an 1/8 thick piece. Cut about 2 onions up. The way I showed you me cutting them is the way I've always cut them, and I almost never have trouble with my eyes. By cutting both ends off first, then cutting it in half, after peeling off the outer layer, I almost never tear up. There we go, and now we add that to the onions. What I've done there is once I had the oil really hot, I put butter with an almost equal amount of olive oil. The olive oil raises the temperature at which the butter won't burn, so you can turn it up to about a medium high, drop the onions in there, get them started. Then after about a minute or two, you just see them starting to go a little translucent. Then turn it down to about, I got 5 or 6, but just below medium, just above medium. And you're going to only stir it about every 4 or 5 minutes for the next 25 minutes. You saw me adding some salt, sea salt. Some people say add sugar. These are sweet onions. If you get yellow onions, you might add just a pinch of sugar to bring out the sweetness. I also added garlic powder, not salt, because I really enjoy the flavor of garlic. If I were going to add garlic, I would right now crush the garlic. I'm not adding garlic this time. This is just my base recipe. But if I were to add garlic, I would crush the garlic right now, and I would wait till there's only 5 minutes left of that 25 minutes and throw the garlic in then, because you don't want to overcook garlic. It just becomes a crunchy piece of still yummy food. So every 5 minutes we will be stirring this, and you will see it in a sped up sort of way, and you will see how it changes color slowly and surely. It gets a little more translucent, and then it starts to brown around the edges, and you give it a good stir, give it quite a bit more. 25 minutes, 30 minutes even, if you really like them nice and brown. So we'll see you at the end of this. You may have noticed those are rather, as my mom would call them, deep brown. I like them that way, and you'll see why, because we've kind of overcooked them in butter. There's a reason. They're going to taste absolutely wonderful. But now that they have been turned and cooked and browned until they're perfect, 25 minutes. 25 minutes is what I always do. We turn this off. We head over to a spot with paper towel, and we get the onions out of the butter and spread them out on this paper towel. And a little taste. My goodness, that's nice. But right now, it's not ready. It's going to sit there, and I'm going to cook my meal. This is going to get crispy. And this is, well, there's many ways you can do this. It's going to get crispy if I leave it for the next 40 minutes while I cook my boneless pork chops. I like putting them on boneless pork chops because, first of all, the sweetness is wonderful, but second of all, I cook my pork chops in the oven. I bake them instead of fry them so that it's healthier, but you lose a lot of that crispness on the outside, so you lose that texture. With crispy onions, and they will be crispy by then, you get that beautiful flavor. So, but you can You can even dry these out even more, put them in the oven at about 160, 170 for a couple of hours just on a nice thin sheet. And it'll crisp really up, and then grind it, and you've just made yourself a really nice homemade onion powder. Yes, onion powder. Friends, I'll be back right at the end, putting it on my pork chop and giving a final taste so that you can see what this turns out to be. I'll see you in a bit. Here we are. It is meal time, so we are about to put everything together. So we started off like that. Let's pull this back. Get the plate in front. And here we go. We're going to put some onions all over that. Nice, some crispy, some chewy. And I promise you, my friends, I've already tasted. Sweet, a nice mix of texture, and salty. Absolutely beautiful for on top of that pork chop, and I'm not going to bother you with me eating it. I promise you, it's a good one. Thank you for being part of another Hippie Cooks. If you want other ones, if you want to know what I do with other things, let me know below. Peace.